bells, jingle balls, where the fuck are you? Yo. There you are. Merry Christmas. And to all, a good night.
We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party, flyer than everybody.
We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party, flyer than everybody.
What's going on, everybody? This is Carbon coming at you with some tips and tricks, and basically this is an everything you need to know about how to get better in Blackout Battle Royale. This is basically everything you're going to need. But before we get started, guys, I please want to remind you that if you are watching this and you are not subscribed, to please leave a subscribe. I just passed 1,600. I upload every single day. If you love Blackout as much as I do, or even just COD 4 in general, you're going to want to stay subscribed. I'll give you all the news of everything coming up. You're going to want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I have the links down below. And also leave some comments. I do like to get into some conversations about some of the tips that I leave could actually contradict other people's tips, but I actually feel like if we talk about what are the best things down there in the comments, that we can actually find out, you know, based on players' skills, we can give tips to the right people, and that's great. So there's basically 5 things we're going to talk about today. And the first one is tips before the game. The second one will be early game tips. The third one will be mid-game tips. The fourth one will be late game tips. And the fifth one will be how to unlock multiplayer and zombie skins. So this is basically going to be an entire list of how to get better and so forth. So first of all, you want to play with friends in duos or squad modes. Statistically, it is easier to get a win in duos or squads than it is a solo. Solo is like a 1% chance of winning versus a squad, which is a 4% chance of winning. But you also have your teams as backup, and you know, if all of you can stay alive, chances are you are going to win. Also, you are going to want to put markers on the map, and this goes with communication with your team. You're going to want to put markers on the map in the preload screen, or the preload map. You're going to want to choose where to land before you run the helicopter, because it's usually best to jump out of the helicopter right away. And then there's also another tip with it, and I will talk about it here in a second. But before diving into the map, you want to make sure to put a marker to let your teammates know where you will be landing, where everybody else will be landing, and this will let your teammates know how to support you and how you can support your teammates. But we're going to jump right into the early part of the game, which is Blackout. So rather the tips before Blackout, now we're going to talk about the early part of Blackout. First one is, why do you need to land faster? Alright? Because you do. You need to land faster. If you land faster, you can collect weapons and items before your rivals. In the early phase, you will most likely be able to eliminate a lot of your opponents if you got the weapon first. Like, it's just basic math. You get the weapon first, you're going to get the kill. Basically, how to land. Now, there has been some studies done, and basically what they're saying is, if you want to land just right, you want to jump 2.5 squares away from the destination and aim directly at the ground. Now, 2.5 squares is, of course, the grid within the map. You want to jump at least 2.5 squares from it, and you want to jump straight down. So when your height reaches 60 meters, aim parallel to the ground, so when the parachute opens, you have enough momentum to reach the location you want to land in, unless you want to dive straight down. But it's always best to get that flat part, get a quick look to see if anybody else is around you, and it also helps. My headset just did that. It just died on me. That's crazy. And it's plugged in. But whatever. But yeah, 2.5 squares, and once you are 60 meters, once you've reached 60 meters, you want to aim parallel to the ground, and that way you can get a nice free look around with whatever free look button you have. Look in your controls, and you can see if any other players around you. Quickly find that gun and kill them before they kill you. You want to get them off guard, and that's usually right in the beginning of the fall. Next, we want to talk about the get the mid to long range weapons. So unless you're picking up things right away and you're just going to get whatever is given to you, you know, always use what you can find first. But if you have a selection, you know, since the Blackout map is huge, you will need to fight in mid to long range battles most of the time. So it is recommended that you get mid to long range weapons to help you survive in Blackout. My best weapons, I'd say, for mid to long range, I'd say if you're going to go sniper, you definitely want to go outlaw if you're quick with the aim, or if you really want to make sure you get that kill, try to get the 50 cal. Alright, you want that boomstick, that's what I call it. And then for secondaries, I say you always want to go with a shotgun, but always have quick reload on the MOG, and then you want extended mag on the SG-12. And then you're going to want long barrels on both the guns. And then as far as assault rifles, I recommend anything with 7.62 ammo, or the SWAT, or the ICR. Basically everything is good. I like all the weapons except the 3-burst weapons. I really do. I like almost all the weapons. Next, you will basically want to find the ray gun if you want to know the best gun in the game. And that is absolutely the most fun, is the ray gun. So first you'll need to know the location of the zombie areas around the map. So be reminded that there might not be, you know, a lot of skilled players competing for the rare weapons, so you might be able to kill them, but there could be better skilled players than you and they could kill you. So you just have to make sure that these high populated areas with these great weapons, you know, that you've made a commitment at that point. Next, you want to get the gear and items. So items assist you to survive in the game, but know that their function and optimization for your loadout is according to your needs. So you can bring 5 items by default, and of course it is expandable to 10 if you get the backpack. But you're also going to want heal items. Heal items are the most important part of the game. You can get up to 10 first aids, which are the bandages, 5 med kits, and 1 trauma kit per slot in your inventory. But I can't stress this enough. If you have 10 med kits, alright, 10 med kits, you don't need your first aids. Drop the bandages. Take the med kits and all the traumas that you can possibly manage. But if you are somebody who carries bandages, know to always have your med kits ready to heal with rather than your bandages, because those are going to get you the most health quickly. But use your bandages if you're hidden someplace and you have time to heal up. Like, that's always a good, helpful trick. And don't use your trauma kits unless you absolutely have to. If you're at 180, obviously don't use it. If you're at 145, you know, maybe use it. Next, we're going to move to the middle part of the Blackout game. And basically that is do not always fight. So in the middle of the game, you may find lots of enemies around the whole map. But however, think it is worth starting. Is it worth starting combat? The ultimate goal of first mode, basically, like, once you get in, is to be a survivor, and in most cases would be the best to avoid combat. Unlike myself, I kind of, since I'm top tier echelon, I kind of just want to go for kills now. But obviously, if you want to go for those W's, you want to avoid combat as much as possible. So statistically speaking, that's how you're going to win the game. But how do you disengage from attacking enemies? So basically, when you are under fire, if you cannot get into a vehicle for quick getaway, you can slide to avoid getting, you know, hit. Jumping will also help with your movements, you know, to make it more unpredictable, so try and mix it up. And I also suggest to go to your settings and change your controller layout to bumper jumper tactical. That way your fire weapon is L1, your fire weapon is R1, your aim button is L1, your jump button is L2, your throwables are R2, and your healing is X, and circle is melee, and R3, which is N on your stick, is crouch and slide. This setup basically keeps your thumbs on the joysticks while you are fighting. Alright, and that's the best thing you want to do. You don't want to take it out to jump or crouch. So continuous sliding actions will not let you slide for a while. So continuous sliding actions, basically, it sounds like a very good way to avoid enemy attacks, but after sliding 5 to 6 times or more, this will stop the slide animation. This might be a mechanic that prevents you from exploiting the slide altogether, you know, the whole mechanic. So next is going to be like how to spot enemies. And the number one thing I can't stress enough is auditory cues. Audio is a helpful mechanic in the game for spotting enemies. It is the best when you play Blackout mode with headphones on to better hear any auditory cues that the game is giving you. You want the headphones, okay? Especially ones that are like 7.1 Dolby or any sort of Dolby surround that are replicated, because then you can get almost exact positioning. But you also want to confirm this stuff with your eyes. You can use the sniper rifle lens to scout and spot enemies with the game. Alright? Within the game. Sorry, not with the game. Within the game. Spotting enemies will then help you further strategize what next step you will want to take in the game. Because visual is always good. You want to be able to make sure, well, whether or not they're, you know, jumping around, if they're keeping a good eye on the surroundings, or are they only facing the way that they're running. Like, you want all sorts of this information. The next sort of tips we're going to jump into here is the light part of Blackout game. Now, you're going to want to throw your sniper rifle away when safe zone is small. So it'd be better to swap your sniper rifle to a weapon that is effective from mid to close range combat if the area is small. Okay? So then there's the recon car. This is to search for enemies. Now, if you are in duos or squads, I recommend using the recon car because then someone can have your back. But if you are in solos, I recommend you don't because no one can have your back. But basically, using the recon car will let you remotely find enemies. You do not need to move to look around. However, always hide, you know, because it makes noise since you are immobilized when using the recon car from the second it starts. And very last, we're going to talk about how to unlock multiplayer and zombie skins. Now, that's a quite in-depth way to go into it. Basically, to level up your echelon and Blackout can get some skins. So some character skins will unlock at certain levels, like level 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100, or all in 101. Or 20, 40, 60, 80, and 81 are going to get you all of the main characters like Frogman and Seal and Battle Hardened. Next, you're going to want to move on to like the multiplayer characters, such as like Seraph. You know, and in a Blackout round, looting supply drops, supply crates, and eliminated players can reward you with a character mission. An objective you need to complete to unlock a current skin. So objectives change per character. Objectives depend on the character missions you receive. Objectives can mean using certain weapons or consumables, avoiding damage from the ring, or getting certain places in the match. You also want to complete the objective within the round. Once you receive the character mission, you'll need to complete the objective within the round. If you get eliminated without completing the objective, you'll have to find the challenge again in another round of Blackout. You'll have to start it all over again. Next, skins are just purely aesthetic. Skins in Blackout mode are purely for cosmetic reasons and solely change the appearance of your character. They do not give any advantage in combat or battle. This goes for the guns and the character skins, okay? So basically, those are all the tips, kind of stretched out. Those are like a nice little summary. But if you want to go more in depth into the tips, like how you want to do certain settings, please go ahead and follow my channel. I do have previous videos. Go ahead and take a look for those. Maybe I'll try to put those at the end of the video here. But yeah, like I said, I do subscribe and upload every single day, guys. So, or I do upload every single day. Please subscribe. Please like. I do love responding to those comments. Yeah, peace.